What's up YouTube? Brian here, back in with another video, and today we're going to talk about some questions that I get all the time, whether it's on Facebook, in person, or on Instagram, and a lot of stuff in the comments too. We're going to talk a little bit about buying and selling rods and reels, specifically higher end rods and reels, and some of the things that I've learned over the years, and just kind of a little bit of a guide to maybe you all who are just starting to get into this. So I'm going to go over a couple topics. First off, if you're not following me on Instagram, just a little bit of housekeeping, please check me out. I am at Punch Fishing at Instagram. If you ever want to shoot me a message or talk to me one-to-one, I answer my Instagram DMs all the time. So feel free to reach out to me on there. So first off, there's a couple things that I've learned over the years, and the things are always changing and shifting in the fishing equipment world and where you can get good deals and buy things and all this kind of stuff. So let's talk about a couple of my favorite brands and a couple of my favorite shops. I'm going to kind of give you guys some of my little insider tips and tricks and these kinds of things. So first off, never play full price. That's my number one tip. If you guys can ever figure something out from this video, it is don't pay MSRP unless you absolutely have to. There are situations where you do need to pay MSRP, like just walk into a store, pay full price, and then walk out and get your thing. But often, if you do a little diligent planning and some making relationships and looking for codes and all these kinds of things, you can get those items at a discounted price. So the thing about fishing equipment is there's a lot of margins. So if you buy say you buy a Daiwa Steez, or you buy a Metanium, or you buy a, Corrado, or, any kind of rod and reel, there's a lot of meat on the bone there for, tackle retailers to discount these items and still make a decent profit. Especially with rods. So rods, a $600 rod, many shops at certain points can drop these rods to like 50% off, get rid of them. I'm probably still making a little bit of money, but the margins on fishing rods are very good. So let's talk about a couple of things. Number one, you're not going to get online coded discounts for certain brands. Certain brands like Shimano and Megabass specifically, they do not like when online shops allow codes to buy their products at discounts. So actually, the manufacturers that don't like this that I know about, I'm sure there's more, is Megabass, Shimano, which in terms means G. Loomis as well. So anytime I say Shimano, just assume G. Loomis, and St. Croix. Now, there are certain shops out there that they do have sneaky codes that you can use, add these things to your cart, check out. But typically, if Shimano or St. Croix or these companies find out that these codes are working, they will lay the smackdown on that. So I know of one shop over in Wisconsin that does do online discount codes for Megabass. Tackle Trap, you can use codes to get discounts on Megabass, but like places like Hookup Tackle, Omnia, Bass Pro, even like just a lot of the normal big outlets for Megabass, they are code protected. You can't use codes to get discounts. But like I said, check Tackle Trap, use my code PUNCH10 at Tackle Trap. You can definitely get 10% off there. They pretty much do 10% off everything. It doesn't matter the brand. There's the Real Shot over in Wisconsin. They also do discounts on Megabass. I don't really like saying that because that's one of my sneaky places to go buy things. But if you go over to the Real Shot, there's a bunch of codes. There's some 15% off codes out there in the world that you can find. I don't have one personally for myself, but if you Google, you can find these codes. But the Real Shot is another place where you can get 15% off Megabass. Now, there's other places like Kittery Trading Post, KTP as I like to call them. They do some really amazing sales once in a while, and they do include Megabass in their sales. So every once in a while, you can get 10, 15, 20, and sometimes even 25% off of Megabass at Kittery Trading Post, KTP. Not all the time, but every once in a while, and they typically only carry Levante rods. So if you want to get a good deal on Levante, sign up for KTP's email list. You can get discount codes every once in a while. Now, myself personally, I'm just going to throw a plug out here. I have a Facebook group called Bass Fishing Deal Hunters. We have like over 1,000 people in it. And anytime I find really good online discounts or sales, good deals on tackle rods and reels, we post inside of that group. So if you're not in my Facebook Bass Fishing Deal Hunters group, I suggest you join it. So anyway, let's keep talking. Daiwa doesn't really care about codes. What I've noticed is pretty much any code you use on most websites, like specifically my 15% off code at Omnia, they will apply to pretty much any Daiwa product. So Daiwa are probably the most friendly for discounts online. Now, here's the rub. When you go into a shop, that sells St. Croix, G. Loomis, Shimano, Daiwa, all these brands, you can get a discount for all this stuff in the store. Online, not so much. Like if I want to go buy Metanium, I'm typically going to go to a local shop that has a discount, and I will get the discount on the Metanium in the shop. So this is all applying for buying new things. So if you're going to buy new, if you're going to buy Daiwa, go online, go to Omnia, go to Tackle Trap, any of these shops, all the codes work, good to go. If you're going to buy Shimano online, I would suggest going to a store that does Shimano deals or has Shimano in stock. Don't go to Bass Pro or Cabela's, go to your local tackle shop that sells Shimano. For me, in my area in Minnesota, we have Capra's. Capra's is an awesome shop, and we also have Thorn Brothers. And we also have a third one called Joe's. So I can go to Joe's, Capra's, Thorn Brothers, and typically get 20% off, maybe even more if they're in a good mood. At least like 15 to 20% off any of the Shimano products, whether it's rod, reels, G. Loomis, all that kind of stuff. So find a local tackle shop that sells this stuff. Buy Shimano, Loomis, St. Croix in person. Daiwa, go nuts online. That's kind of the way I go about things with buying new. eBay is also a great option. So you can get great deals on eBay if you are diligent and you're looking all the time, especially on lightly used items. So every once in a while, you'll find really great deals on opened opened reels, that kind of stuff. So don't not look on eBay. So if you're looking for a very specific reel, keep an eye out on eBay. Once in a while, you'll find really awesome deals. People will post up reels that are super lightly used, and maybe they'll have open bidding, and the bidding doesn't go very high, and you can get really, really good deals. So now let's talk used. So if you're going to get into the high-end rod and reel game, used is a great way to enter the realm. Now, there's some caveats. If you buy used Megabass rods, you're not getting your warranty is void. So that's a little beware. But if you're going to buy used NRXs, G. Loomis, Shimano stuff, or Daiwa stuff, or even St. Croix stuff, that warranty is transferable. You don't have to have like a proof of purchase saying that you bought that piece of equipment from an authorized dealer like you do with Megabass. So if you want to get into this used rod and reel game, the absolute number one with a bullet place to find good used equipment is Facebook. Facebook Marketplace has completely killed and destroyed every other online used shop. So Facebook Marketplace combined with finding groups specifically to the stuff you like. There's a really great Shimano rod and reel group. There's a really great Megabass group. There's a really great Daiwa group. There's a couple groups for just high-end rod and reels. So locate Facebook groups around the types of equipment you like. Join those groups. There's a really great Lew's groups. There's a giant group of just people who buy and sell and trade Lew's. So find the groups on Facebook that are applicable to you. If you're not on Facebook and you want to buy and sell fishing equipment, you're crazy. I know a lot of people don't like social media platforms. They just avoid Facebook altogether. But make a Facebook account for fishing gear if you want to find deals. So often I will search my groups for things I'm looking for. I'll just check Facebook, see what people post. If I'm going to sell something and I'm willing to ship, I will definitely post things in some of these groups for sale. You got to be ready to be able to ship rods, reels, all kind of stuff. Or you can just post it in the Facebook Marketplace and sell it locally. There's a lot of local bass fishing groups. Like here in Minnesota, we have this giant group called Bass Heads. And if I want to dump a rod or reel, I'll throw it in Bass Heads first. And typically I'll find a local guy in the area that will just, Venmo me some money, and we'll do a meetup and that kind of stuff. So I will say rods and reels, if you're going to buy new, buy online with a code, unless you're certain brands like Shimano, Loomis, St. Croix. If you have shops that sell those brands locally, go into those shops and ask for a discount. You got to just ask. A lot of people don't ask. If you just go up to the counter and say, hey, can you do 10% or 15 or 20% off on a rod or reel at a local tackle shop, they will 100% do that. They need to make sales. Now, I've said this in previous videos that shops that are G. Loomis shops, the salespeople get spiffs if they sell enough NRX or Conquest rods. So I think with every 10 sales, the salespeople at the shop, they get a free NRX or they get a free Conquest. So they are very, very motivated to sell NRX rods. So if you're going to buy an NRX, go to a shop that sells them. If you even buy a couple of them, you might get up to 30% off the top on these rods. and then the guy selling you is going to rack up 10 sales, and then he's going to go get his free NRX, and everybody's happy. It's a win-win situation all around. There's a lot of meat on the bone for high-end rod and reels to give decent discounts. If you're a frequent customer at a shop, you should be minimum getting 20% off. Sometimes if they're really like you or you're really good friends, you might get 30% off. That does happen. I've gotten 30% off at certain stores because, I'm a good customer and I buy a lot of stuff. So anyway, use stuff. You definitely utilize Facebook. It's your best weapon. Another place I'm going to suggest is the BBC. It is the Bass Boat Central. Not the other kind of BBC. It's Bass Boat Central. They have a really good forum with a lot of high-end rod and reel tackle nerds. So you can go into the used section or the for sale section and find deals on rods and reels. I bought a lot of rods off of the Bass Boat Central forums. Also, Tackle Tour. The Tackle Tour website has a forum. There's lots of people who are into high-end rods and reels, and they do a lot of buying and selling on Tackle Tour. So I would say check Tackle Tour forums, check Bass Boat Central forums. Definitely get on Facebook, hit the groups, hit the marketplace, and then I think your dark horse is definitely eBay. So out of those 4 places, those are the 4 places I will go to buy used equipment. Now, you can also reach out to shops that are not in your area on Facebook, especially through Facebook Messenger, to get deals on things like Shimano. So say you are a person who doesn't have a local tackle shop that sells Shimano or G. Loomis, and you want to get a discount. The best bet is to contact certain shops online. Now, I'm going to suggest a couple that they might not give you a discount, but if you ask them really nice, you might be able to. But anyway, my point is message out to them, reach out, see if they'll cut you a deal on something. And that is, I will say, Summerland Outdoors on Facebook and Bypass Bait and Tackle. So these 2 shops I've done a lot of business with. If you're going to be a good customer of theirs, shoot them a message on Facebook, tell them I sent you. And you might get a good deal on something that you couldn't use an online code for. These shops got to make money; they got to do business. But it is what it is. Do your best. Be nice to these people. Be good customers. Spend money, and you'll get good things in return if you do. So, that being said, my favorite places online to buy tackle is definitely Omnia, definitely Tackle Trap. I love Summerland Outdoors. I love Bypass Bait and Tackle is great. I'm trying to think. I definitely haven't bought anything at Bass Pro and Cabela's in years. My local tackle stores here in Minnesota, I love Capra's, I love Joe's, and I love Thorne Brothers. All 3 of them are great. I probably spend the most time and money at Capra's because I'm good friends with the people that work there, and Capra's is just a solid shop. They're probably the best G. Loomis Shimano shop in the area. So these are some of my tips and tricks. If you have any questions, leave comments. Please do. If you like a local tackle shop in your area, drop the name in the comments for other people to check out. There's a ton of really great local tackle shops that are out in the world, and I highly suggest you use them to buy new equipment. So if you're going to buy new stuff, hit your local tackle shops or hit the big retailers like Tackle Trap and Omnia. I got codes that are always available down in the description of my videos that can get you some juicy discounts on certain things. So I don't know. This is just kind of me doing a brain dump of buying and selling equipment. Now, one of the tricks and one of the things I've learned is if you buy high-end rods and reels like NRXs, Conquest, Megabass gear, all that kind of stuff, X-Prides, if you buy them at the right price point, when you want to get rid of it, you can almost sell it for what you paid for it. So that's why I like buying used. A lot of my stuff came used. Even Megabass, I don't mind buying used Megabass stuff for the most part. I'll roll the dice on the warranty and that kind of thing if I get a really good price and a good discount. So my point is, if you get it at the right price point, you're kind of renting things in a way. You might lose 20, 30 bucks maybe if you've beaten a piece of equipment up a little bit. So if you take really good care of your used gear, you use it for a couple of years, you don't like it, whatever, you're going to probably be able to punt it for pretty much what you paid for it. Because the nice thing about high-end equipment is there's always a market for it. People always want that really nice stuff. They always want those Conquests, those NRXs, those Megabass rods, those G. Loomis, all those kind of stuff. So you're never really going to be out money if you get it at the right price point. I think the last thing I want to touch on is tackle, or the hookup tackle. So the hookup tackle is one of those places where they have stuff nobody else has. and you're gonna have to pay full price. So there are certain times in life where you're gonna have to pay MSRP or full price for equipment, and those cases are when you're desperate and you need something fast and you don't really have time to look around and shop around, you just need to go buy something. That's totally fine to pay MSRP. Number two, you're looking for something super niche that nobody else has, like a lot of the rods and reels that the Hookup Tackle gets. You're gonna have to pay to play in those areas, because guess what? There's no other place for you to go to get some of this equipment, and you're just gonna have to pony up the dough to get the really unique and interesting, cool stuff. So, like I said, be nice to your local tackle shop owners. Be nice to those family businesses. Ask politely if you can get hookups and discounts. If you don't get a discount and they say no, don't get offended. It's their prerogative. They don't have to give you discounts. But if you're kind to them and you're a repeat customer and you're going to support their business, a lot of times they will definitely work with you on prices of certain things. So that's kind of my brain dump. Again, I hope this video helps. Don't pay MSRP if you don't have to, but if you do, it is what it is. So that's kind of my video on this topic. There's a lot of stuff to say about it. I hope I touched on everything that I wanted to. I'm sure I forgot a couple things, but thank you for watching. If you made it this far in the video, hit like, hit subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out.